Yo, what day do y'all? In another episode of Roarr 7. This is me, your boy, and also Roarr, coming to you live, real special, real special. Coming to you live from motherfucking Antigua, Costa Rica.
Let's go, baby.
And yeah, I'm with my friend. Tasheema Felder. For those who don't know her, need to because you froze off top. You don't know what the fuck we're talking about right now. Straight like that. Nah, this is Tasheema Felder, stylist, designer, brother from BX. We'll let her tell her story. Let's go, talk to me.
So what's good, Rob?
How you doing?
We good. We here out in Costa Rica.
Let's go.
You already know, gang. We here in Costa Rica.
What's up? How you feeling? How's your day today?
It's been a long, active week here in Costa Rica. I'm feeling very relaxed today.
Okay.
We let the rest of the gang, Caroline and Carol, go out to their little chocolate tour, and we on our FGO shit today.
Scream like that. You heard it from her. Well, we both. Well, actually, I've been knowing Tasheema for like 11 years. She felt like that. She's from PX, like what I said, but I've known her from Florida. So Tasheema, tell me more about yourself, and then let that go into like what made you go out to Florida. Yeah.
Well,
What's your name?
what's your name? Where you from? No, but I went to. So when I graduated high school, I decided to go to college in Miami. I went to Johnson & Wales University.
Okay, let's go.
I was initially supposed to go to our main campus though in Providence, Rhode Island, but once I figured out they had a campus in Miami, I'm like, nah, I'm gonna go to the Miami campus. And my mom was like, nah, after 1 year you coming back and you're gonna be partying? I'm like, no, I'm not coming back. Like there's a campus in Miami, I'm done, I'm going to Miami.
Facts.
I went there and I was proving her wrong. Like I wasn't partying. I had 2 jobs. I worked at several jobs, but I always kept 2 jobs at one time, and I was a full-time student. So I was focused. It wasn't like South Beach.
What year was this?
So I graduated high school in 2008. So after 2008, I went to Miami.
You was ducked off, and you knew that Johnson was ducked the fuck off. So I'm like, damn, I was like in art. No, I wasn't in art institute around that time. I was still just around, so like, I didn't see. So you was ducked the fuck off.
Yeah, because I used to be in class and work. That was literally my life. Like I went out sometimes, Thirsty Thursdays come. We would go to rendezvous. Like it was always a vibe every time Thursday, because classes was only Monday through Thursday. So once Thursday came, it was a vibe. Like, okay, it's about to be Thirsty Thursdays.
so you was on your FGO vibes all through college.
Oh, for the most part, yeah. Like I took my studies definitely very serious, because once I graduated high school, I was like, some people was like, oh, I take time off, I'll take a year off. I was like, nah, I want to go straight, because if I take time off, not say I wouldn't go, but I wanted to just keep the momentum going. Like I finished high school, I'm going straight to college, and I'm going to get my degree. So that's just where my mind was, and I ended up going to Miami. I even graduated like a semester early because I did study abroad. So like my sophomore year. So I went to school for fashion merchandising and retail marketing.
My bad, y'all. Just kidding. LOL, she been doing this shit.
I'm telling you, like I went there for fashion, and during my studies there, I went to study abroad in Italy.
Oh,
so in Florida.
I'm supposed to study you too. What the
fuck? So yeah, I went there to study. I studied graphic design and photography there actually. So I did that as part of a semester for my school. So I ended up graduating a semester early because I did study abroad and went through the whole like school year. In addition to like our summer break, I also was in school. So
that's tight. That's hard. Yeah, that's really tight. So you did all that, and then so you still stayed in Miami after that, after you did your schooling there?
So once I graduated in 2012, I decided. From young, I've always been fascinated with shoes. Like I would always play with my mother's shoes. My mother's thing is pocketbooks, and mine have always been shoes. So I'm like, I would sketch out. I wasn't the best sketcher, but I would sketch out a bunch of shoes and just like ideas that I had. So I'm like, you know what? Why don't I officially go and get a taste of what it actually takes? What are the components? What is the actual inspiration that goes into making shoes? So that's when I decided to go to London College of Fashion, and I studied footwear design there. Like I did a semester like 4 months there where I learned the components of making a shoe. I even got to make like a sample. It was just one shoe, but I made a sample shoe at the factory. So it was definitely a great opportunity to go there and like learn more about. In London.
Then you just traveled to London. I thought I was just calling like London. You know, certain shit be saying.
No, like London College of Fashion, but it's in New York.
Exactly. Oh,
London
shit.
College of Fashion is indeed in London.
Okay, that's why you fuck with the tea, huh? All right, for sure. Shout out to the tea.
Yeah, I'm definitely a big tea drinker.
Cherry, motherfucking yo.
It's either water and lemon in the morning, hot water and lemon in the morning, or definitely some tea. And I got the lemon ginger right now with the probiotics, baby. Let's go. Gotta keep that immune system up.
On the Roarr, baby.
Keeping the immune system up.
Yeah, we gonna get into that later as far as the immune system. That's a whole nother subject. Keep your immune system up, for real. But so like, has fashion always been in your life? Like I know you just said since high school you already knew what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
Like, were you like that in high school as well too?
Yeah, absolutely. And so in high school, I was definitely more vibrant and colorful. Like I used to wear a bunch of colors. I used to dye my hair orange,
that was
pink,
like the Laffy Taffy stage.
Yeah, I was just that Laffy Taffy. But nah, I used to wear a bunch of colors, dye my hair all types of crazy colors. So yeah, I was definitely very unique, I would say. I had a very eclectic style for a long time, and I actually in my school yearbook I won best dressed and most unique. Yeah, so in my high school yearbook I was definitely. So I've always just had this style about me. I never really cared so much about logos. Like I love designer pieces, but for me it was always like, my mom has always been into fashion. She used to make custom pieces for my dad, like matching hat with the vest. Like she used to get him right. And she used to show me photos of, little piece sets that she made from him. And she always would shop at thrift stores as well. So I kind of learned how to really get the bang for the buck by having style. Just like, okay, I go in the thrift store, spend $20, and I come out with crazy pieces and I'll put it together. And for me, that's really what style is about. It's not about wearing every logo, like Gucci, Louis Vuitton, like every logo you can find. For me, style is really about taking anything, whether it's a thrifted piece or a fast fashion piece, which I don't recommend because we sustainability game here.
Let's go, throw the S's up.
But just being able to mix that high and low and really having that style where your style is not based on trends. It's more so of like, I know how to put things together and make it look like, I wouldn't have put those together, but that actually works out.
How old were you when you first started like making logos? Like when you made your first piece, you were like, we about to rip this shit that's wrong. Right?
Well, I didn't take full on design lessons when I was in school. Like I took textiles and merchandising classes, and then when I went to London, I did, I learned more about footwear design, even though it's like it goes hand in hand with as far as like learning the basis. Some of the bases that transcend across all levels of design, which like, CAD design and using Illustrator, Photoshop, things like that.
I don't know if you know that shit, but we learning.
We're gonna learn. It takes time. Like Photoshop, it's so amazing the things that you can do. I'm not gonna say I'm an expert at it, but I do dabble in it, and I have patience enough to learn because, you're not gonna always have somebody to learn. So I think if you learn the basics of like Photoshop, that is a good tool to have. Because you could quickly, whip something up on a basic level of what you need done.
Right. How important is that to you, though, as far as like you learning all those things, and how do you use that in your daily life right now?
I think it's an important tool to have, especially when, you just want to learn how to do, just to have a bunch of skills that can, stretch across multiple paths, whether you're designing, whether you you need to help somebody else with that. It's just a great tool to have to help you and enhance your creativity. If you need to make a quick flyer, if you need to make a quick promo video, there's this platform called Canva, which I'm sure a lot of people, I've heard about it. It's a quick, have you heard of Canva before?
Yeah, I've heard of Canva.
Yeah.
There's another app called Unfold.
That's another one for good layout.
But yeah, Canva and Unfold, that shit turns to the Photoshop.
Yeah, it's just like even if you wanted to do a little, if you have a blog, if on Instagram, a lot of us are using Instagram as our portfolio. If you want to snazz up and do a little something more creative details. Canva, you can easily get on these tools and, you know, spice your photos up, and you don't have to worry about, you know, sourcing it out if you could do a little bit of it on your own. So I just think it's a great tool to have if you want to, you know, enhance your creativity.
No, I agree with you 1,000% on that. What kind of music were you listening to? I know we're gonna be sharing some bumps, but I want to know, like, you know what I mean, what kind of music you were raised on? You feel like your music was inspired by fashion as well too?
I was raised on love. Like I was born in the 90s, so and my mother's thing was always when I was growing up and going to high school and getting ready for school, every morning my mom getting ready for work, she played music, so I always knew the vibes. Tevin Campbell, Joe.
Oh, that was a vibe.
You know, Tony, Genuine. Like, she always played the vibes when she was getting ready for work. So I really grew up and just love it. Even now, still, no matter what comes back, I always revert to the 90s. Just something about the 90s and earlier, 90s, 80s, 70s. And I kind of like a little bit of everything, R&B, hip hop, electronic, pop. I take a little bit of it all.
Maybe I'm on some conspiracy shit. Well, I feel like 90s R&B music sometimes, it got people fucked up on how love is.
And what aspect?
Because, like, you know, them niggas is going through their own problems. Them niggas got baby mama problems. You see a lot of people on Love and Hip Hop now. You know, all that, ooh, you was being that messy in the 90s, what the fuck?
Yeah, it was definitely
so
a lot
like,
of
you know what I mean? So it's like, it's the fantasy of what you think love was, but these people weren't necessarily acting like that. They were just making love songs. They were making love-inspired songs, basically love songs. If that makes sense.
I just feel like the way men spoke about women, spoke to women. If you want to go there, we're going to go there now. So the caliber of the way men confessed and talked about love, it's like, I need you, I want. They were afraid to be vulnerable. I feel like now, it's a sacred thing, but I guess as boys, you guys grow up, maybe not to be so vulnerable, but I feel like men in the 90s and music before, they weren't afraid to be vulnerable and say, I'm hurt, I need you, I miss you.
Because I was cheating on you and I'm hurt, I'm sorry. Baby, I'm begging. He was begging. I mean, he fucked up. He got caught. You better make a fucking song.
You better make a fucking song. Now, I mean, even if it wasn't just about cheating, or maybe him just going through his own personal things in life and started to push her away, you know, type of vibe like that. It's not always about just cheating, you know. People go through other things in life that may separate people and make you say, you know what, I pushed a good person away because of my own insecurities or things I was going through, not necessarily that I cheated on her or that this woman is a bad person.
Right, but sometimes they be the toxic ones making the songs, though.
That's actual and factual.
That's all I'm saying. Is it R&B or is it, you know, do we blame Trey Songz or do we blame Al Green? I don't know. The world don't know yet. This is just me. This is my hit joint once type question. My bad. So let's get back to after you left Miami. So you left Miami with the motherfucking London School of London.
Yeah.
Making shoes. We got London on the beat.
London on the beat.
And then after that, we came back to New York.
So after that, yes, I went to New York.
I'm from Florida, so when I say it's New York, let's just say I fuck with this shit. How about that?
Yeah. You know, Miami is definitely still like my home because I've spent a lot of time there from school and then moving back and forth from there to New York. I definitely consider Miami a home. It definitely has a special place in my heart. But I will say that yes, I did.
What you about to say?
No, I'm about to say.
Florida slander going on?
No, there will not be any Florida slander going on.
Okay.
What I was going to say though is that after I came back from London, I went back to New York City. I did a few internships and then I got a job. I was working in retail, so I started working at Bloomingdale's and I worked in their footwear department.
Oh, you rich?
Yeah, and
okay.
I ended up being.
You need $1.
Let me get $1. I ended up being the Ferragamo shoe specialist in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Ferragamo Felder. Let's go. Holla at your boy.
Yeah, because when I was in Italy, when I studied in Florence, they also had the Ferragamo Museum there. So I learned about when he used to design shoes for Marilyn Monroe or the Hollywood stars. So I really knew about the heritage of the brand. So when the opportunity came about, when the position was open, I applied for it and I had a few interviews, and I kind of got a promotion at that time because I was just a regular sales associate, and they promoted me to Ferragamo shoe specialist. So, yeah. But at the time, my co-worker, she was an aspiring actress, and she was doing a photo shoot, and she's like, you know, I love your style. I would love for you to help me put some looks together for my photo shoot. Like, I'm doing some shots for my portfolio. So I helped her with that, and I'm like, I actually enjoy this. I actually enjoy helping people put their looks together and finding pieces that cater to their body type. So from there, I went on Craigslist, and my very good friend to this day, shout out to Ani Hovanesian, I met her through Craigslist. Like, she was looking for an intern to help her with a photo shoot, and I applied, and I worked as an intern for her. And then after that, I was able to build my own portfolio. She would, any gigs that she couldn't get, she would pass it down to me because we really built a really strong partnership. Like, we worked really well together. And still to this day, that was about, I want to say 5-7 years ago. Still to this day, she's a really good friend of mine, and we collaborate with each other all the time. But from there, she helped me basically build my portfolio. From there, I started to just get more gigs, word of mouth, and just putting my work out there.
Oh, let's go. And that was in Florida?
I started when I was in New York.
Oh, so you met her in New York, and then that's kind of
yeah. Tight. When I came back from London, I went back to New York, and I was working at Bloomingdale's.
So that's crazy how that whole thing just played into. Was that your first styling gig that you got? When you were styling your coworker?
Yeah, that was it was basically my first styling gig at the time.
What year was that?
I want to say that was like maybe 2013, 2014.
That's tight. How did you feel? Did you feel like you was always ready for it? Like when you were doing it, did it feel good? Did it feel natural?
It did feel natural because I generally feel like I'm someone who pays attention to the things that I wear and focus on colors that I think complement me, silhouettes and cuts that compliment me, because you'll see trends sometimes, but not every trend is for everybody. Like, you have to really focus on finding pieces that cater to your body type. So I was really interested in helping her do that, like find looks that really complement and bring out her best features.
Facts. That's tight. And then so what? Obviously, I like to say the reward for good work is more work.
Right.
You just felt like that's what just kind of rolled over and got you styling even more.
Yeah, I just kept putting myself out there. I know, as Erykah Badu would say, what's the saying that Erykah has? Be careful about my artwork because I'm sensitive about my shit. Something like that. So it's like,
I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my shit.
Exactly, that's how the saying goes. So yeah, it's like you always keep that in mind when you're putting out a piece of you, a piece of art, creativity, like, how are people going to perceive it? But either way, you jump out there because it's something that you feel this magnetic pull to it, and you're like, I'm going to do it anyway, even if I feel some kind of, fear about it, because you're stepping into basically the unknown of what's going to happen. But you do it anyway, and then you just kind of keep building on it, especially when you see that other people are enjoying your creativity that you're putting, your art that you're putting out into the world. You want to keep going with it. So
you got a point. Actually practical, especially if it feels natural and feel good. I always tell people like, yo, if you're trying to get into something, make sure you breathe that shit. Make sure if it's something that you can do every day.
Yeah.
If you can't do it every day, you might not want to make that your new job or your new venture, because you really gotta love it. You gotta breathe. You really gotta breathe and eat this shit if you're really trying to get into fashion. It's one, it's expensive.
Yeah.
And two,
fabrics, materials for your kits, styling kits. Yeah, it definitely starts to add up. But one thing I also want to say as a creative is, it's okay to take breaks too. Yes, if you're really passionate about something, you're gonna always be working at it in some capacity every day. But sometimes I know, even for myself, I have times where I like to say creative blocks, and I try to force an idea or force myself to finish a concept in that one set, and I'm just like, you know what? If I'm not feeling strong about the direction that it's going, it's okay to put it down and come back to it a little bit later, but at least jot down part of it. You might not be able to put all those pieces together at that exact moment, but it's good to even do a sketch or jot it down so that you could come back to it later.
No, you gotta agree with you 1,000%, man. I always view that as like my natural movement, if that makes sense. Sometimes if my energy is like burst, slow down, that means that's okay. I'm in it for the long term.
Exactly, and you can take. Yeah, I think now with the pressure of like social media, definitely having this very unique space to be in, this tech-driven space that we're in now, where our work can be put out into the world on social media, like platforms like Instagram, Twitter, things like that. We start to feel that pressure that we have to constantly be creating at this accelerated rate, and I don't think that is necessary. You know, yes, we want to share and continuously share our growth with our audiences, but I don't think that we have to put out in a rate that doesn't feel wholesome to us. Like, you want to put out quality, you want to put your best. If you're going to put your work out there, you might as well make sure that it's your best work, because that's how people are going to want to work with you and hire you. If you have quality work, it's not about the quantity, it's about the quality.
Facts, you're right. I'd rather motherfucking, I feel like if it's good work, it's going to last the test of time versus fast fashion, where it's always changing, always chasing something or whatever.
And you'll appreciate you will appreciate the fact that you took your time. And I believe that other people would look at your art and see that, yes, I can definitely tell that you put your soul into this. You definitely took your time. And when other people can see the beauty in your work, I think that's also a very inspiring thing to keep you motivated and going, that people can understand and appreciate the beauty that you contribute to the world.
You're right. So I want to go back to you styling for you actually making clothes.
Yeah.
You were styling all women first. When did you start getting into like fellas? When you start styling dudes? How did you feel styling opposite sex? Like the first time?
I think I've always done both. I believe my initial first shoot was all women, but through the course of me building up, continuously working at it, I've worked with both men and women, some in the same shoot, some on separate shoot, and obviously they bring different energy because, how you would dress a woman, they just bring different dynamics when styling them. But I definitely enjoy styling both men and women. One thing I will say about just a general rule within styling is that I like to work with people who are open-minded with their styling. They're able to put on eclectic, crazy look. They don't shy away from something that goes against the norm.
I can believe. What about like when you start taking it to the next level? You start getting like bigger looks. Were you ever like nervous taking it to the next level, or was it just like something that you always wanted and really just felt calm taking it to the next level? Because I know everybody got to start from somewhere. So every time, obviously, we don't got to name drop clients just yet, but every time you say right now, you took it to the next level at least every year.
Yeah, I just always told myself that I've been working at it, and I know that the energy, even if I don't have all the pieces to my puzzle, I know that what I can do with the resources that I do have, and I push myself forward with that, and I never back down from an opportunity, even if I may have felt like this is going to be a reach. I was always open for the challenge, so I was never like, no, I'm not ready, because I've been working at it, even though I don't know every single thing. That's what I feel like the best way I learn is to actually, I'm hands-on, is to actually go through it. A lot of that is how I move when I'm working and I'm creating and learning things. I like to learn on hand, so I never back down from a challenge. It may not be exactly the way it was supposed to, the outcome, but at least I pushed forward and took the opportunity anyway and gave it my best shot.
That's a good work. I want to talk about like some of the clients that you style, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure.
What's been like, I feel like what's been like your toughest day on the job? Whether it's like a big client or a small client, what do you feel like has been your toughest day, and how did you like handle those days? How do you I guess push through it, or at least, or not even push through it? You could, I'm controlling this day now versus pushing through it. Sometimes I feel like pushing through it just means like you just walking through a game you right. You know what I mean? How do you take back control of your day doing something?
Well, I could definitely say in the pre-production of working on shoots, it's the trying to get the exact pieces you want, the exact clothing that you want, and you request it from independent designers or whether you're requesting it from, PR agencies, just to put it out there, feelers of, you work with your team on the concept of the shoe and the color scheme and where it's gonna go, and then now you have to kind of, get those clothes that complement that. So when you reach out to these people and whether it's available or they can't help you out at the time, that's always a little nerve-wracking, because if you have this vision of how you want the look to come about and then you don't get those pieces, you kind of just gotta improvise on the fly, but what you gotta do best with what you have in the moment, not to feel like, oh, I can't do the shoot now because I didn't get these exact pieces. You work with what you have at the moment. So I think I've been very adaptable in that sense of, even when things are not going exactly as planned, I'm gonna make it happen regardless.
Facts. I know I style as well too. And a lot of people usually ask me like, yo, how do you pull clothes? A lot of people ask me, how do you pull clothes? Like, man, I just ask.
You gotta ask.
Yeah, you just gotta ask.
Just gotta ask.
So I know that's obviously when you answer that as well. But a lot of people usually say, well, how do you pull clothes? How do I become a stylist? What do I gotta do to be a stylist? Sometimes I didn't go to school for styling. I went to school for fashion design and merchandising.
Right.
But yet, styling people right now, like, you mean, it's in the game. So I would say, yeah, it had something to do with like God given talent, but a lot of times it's just knowing what you want and asking.
Right. You're exactly right about it, because I like to consider myself a student of the universe, and for me that just means that I'm always going to, even if I think it's a long shot, I'm still going to jump out there and ask anyway. Like, you never know until you ask, you know what I mean? And when it comes to pulling clothes from independent designers to agencies, you just gotta write them. If you have the email contact and do your research, be resourceful, whether it's going on LinkedIn and finding the PR contact for the brand you want to pull for and getting directly contact with that person, and you write them and let them know what you're looking for, and if they can accommodate you, then you'll get a response. If they can't, maybe they'll just tell you they can't. So you just have to find that contact and ask for what you want.
Factual. I know, I feel like it's something I've been seeing you doing. You always have on a crazy denim shit. What's up? Talk to me about that.
So I have my project called Denim Banner Workshop, which is a sustainability initiative that I started when I always known that denim has been a very prominent piece in all of our wardrobe. At some point in life, we've always worn denim.
I gotta take you by when we get back to LA. You gonna fuck with it.
Alright, bet. We definitely gotta go check that out.
Have to talk with that
Yeah, let's get together on that.
For sure.
But yeah, at some point we've all have worn denim, whether it's a denim jacket, jeans. It's kind of always been that place for workwear because of its durability. So I'm just like, there's just so much you can do with denim. You can customize it in ways of like adding different trimmings, cuts, washes. There's just so much you can do.
They wild out here.
The motor's going crazy.
Vroom on that motorbike.
Yeah, and one day I found a bag of denim just like placed by a trash can, and it was just a bunch of it. I'm like, I'm gonna take it. Like, you just have denim in a trash can.
Okay.
So yeah, so from there I took it and I washed it up, and I just started to play with different ideas on it. And that's when, I believe this was in 2017, I decided to do a denim band workshop in Miami for Art Basel. And it turned out pretty well. Like, I brought a bunch of trimmings, paint, and just different things that people can use to customize denim that I've collected, whether it was that pile that I pulled out or whether I got donations. And I realized that people enjoyed it. They enjoyed being able to customize their own denim. So I'm like, this is something that I just want to keep going. Like, you don't have to waste it. Don't put it in the trash and end up in landfills. Like, reproduce it. Like, denim is a great, even when it wears, the more denim wears, the more beautiful I think it is. Like, I like my denim look to be very broken in. Like, I don't like that brand new look. I like the wear and tear is really good on denim. So I decided to just keep working with it. And still to today, I have a bunch of pieces that I just customize, whether it's taking a jean completely apart and making it into a top or a bucket hat, whatever it is. And really learning how to work with as much of the denim as possible. So again, that we're not creating waste and it's ending up in trash. That the final product uses as much as the the upcycled product as much as possible.
It's tight. She made me this fire ass scrunchie. That shit too hard. I ain't gonna hold you. You gonna see me with it eventually.
Oh, that leather custom.
Oh, you already know.
With the crosses on.
You gonna see me. When you see me with the scrunchie, looking like a sexy little thing. Just mind your business.
Just mind your business.
Yeah, I see where I got it from. I'm gonna tell you what the fuck I got it from. Just mind your business. What's something I'm supposed to ask you? I got started getting my allergy genes.
Yeah.
So like, how's your move from like Los Angeles? Now you in LA. Like, how you treat Los Angeles? I mean, yeah, how's Los Angeles treating you?
Los Angeles treated me. I mean, in the beginning, I would say, first of all, I moved to LA right before the pandemic hit. I moved to Miami. I moved to LA in January of 2020. Yes, in January.
From Miami.
From New York. I was living in New York at the time.
Yeah, you're right.
So yeah, I moved from New York to LA in January of 2020, and as soon as I got there, I've connected with people that I've known through styling, and someone was looking for an assistant to help out. This stylist I know was looking for someone to assist on a Grammy project, so that was kind of my first. As soon as I got to LA, that was like my first opportunity. I was helping out on the Grammy project. So after that, but then that was like January, February, I believe. That's when the Grammys is, and then right after that, March came, and it was the pandemic. So it was FGO from there, like hardcore. And I'm FGO regardless, but once the pandemic hit, I'm not phased. Like I know a lot of people were. First of all, it was a very traumatic experience for all of us to have to be like everybody's world literally had to stop across the globe. Everything was on hold, so that was really crazy. Like us really experienced like COVID-19 pandemic like that. Like for our generation at least, we haven't experienced nothing like massive like that. So that was definitely a life-changing experience to really be on halt in the world like that.
So how was you finding work? I know you just recently worked with Trinidad James or something.
Yeah.
How was you like finding work still? Like how does that? Obviously you good at what you do, but like how was that experience working through the pandemic? How was being on set now during the pandemic now?
Well, to be honest, like work. So right before the pandemic hit, I was actually in talks for an opportunity because I do styling like on projects like editorial, personal styling, but another background of mine is working with costume design, which is for more about films and plays and things like that. So right before we were on lockdown, I was in talks to be a costume designer for a short film.
Uh-huh.
But then it was just like we were going back and forth on dates, and then the pandemic hit. So it was like, okay, this is not happening. It kind of just fell to the wayside because everything got locked down. No productions was happening. Like I'm in a group with all of the people who work in the film industry, and it was like a halt for all of us. All sets were shut down. Like everyone was definitely like taking precautions and taking the COVID-19 very serious. So there was not work there, but luckily it wasn't like a huge strain on me. I was in my house for a long time. I just sat with myself and was just grateful just to wake up the next day.
Was Cheeks there with you though?
No, in the beginning he wasn't because I moved to New York in January, but I didn't move with my dog at the time because I didn't have a place yet. So I didn't want to be trying to find a place and with my dog. It would have just been too much. So I left him with my family, and then I just came to LA by myself and found a place first. And then I was gonna go back and get him. Pandemic hit, and it was like, there was no travel and everything was shut down. So at that time I was legit by myself, and I'm like.
How was you passing time? I know you part of the run club.
Yeah, running, working out, reading, sewing, meditating, and just sitting with myself and being grateful, honestly, to still have a roof over my head and income to help me through it. Food in my stomach, so talk to friends and family. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm just talking about food.
Yeah, we definitely gotta head out of here soon and get some eat. What time is it now? We are at 10:15. Yeah.
All right, now we still got money. We still got money.
Yeah.
You been having money. You see where we at right now. We got money. So you was running, meditating. Hopefully you still doing that.
Yeah.
Don't judge you if you're not. But now I know you still running. We're talking meditation part. We on spiritual workouts right now, dog.
Spiritual.
We on the mental workout. Everybody can be nice and healthy.
Aligned.
Yeah, getting alignment right now. That's what we on right now. Everybody can look good on the outside. It's on the inside that count.
Gotta take care of the inside.
If you ain't right. If you're not working out this and this, bro, you throw $70. You know, always you want to watch them fall. Why? Just a victim mentality. You're not working that
Yeah,
out.
you gotta keep that inner self healthy for sure.
And so Cheeks came through. You was back with your boo. And yeah, you just been thugging out in Los Angeles.
Yeah, I just been so once we kind of got, let's fast forward, going towards the end of 2020. Not 2020. I mean 2020. Right. So at the end of 2020, things started to crack open a little bit. Very small productions started to open up, and a reference came through.
When was the day you shoot? That was 2020?
Yes, that was around.
She got that, man.
That was around August, and I did that project with my friend Ani, and yeah, she did the styling on that, and I did the creative direction for Print Magazine.
That's cool.
That's how that opportunity came together.
Shout out to her.
Yeah, and it was a dope project. We always worked really well together, so it was cool working with him.
These people? How was it cool? Just like, how was it building? Sometimes people see people as competition, especially if you don't leave the house all the time. How do you build these bonds?
And I think that's important to work with people who you guys are aligned, you have mutual interests, and you generally you appreciate what the person brings to the table. I think one of the greatest things in a partnership, whether it's romantic or platonic, is to have that exchange of energy, and where you're adding something, we're both adding to each other, and balancing this out. It's almost crazy sometimes, because particularly when it comes to Ani, we just mold so well together when we work. Like, we both listen to what each other brings to the table, our strong points, and we merge that together, and we take both of our perspective and put it together, and it unfolds that way.
No, that's awesome.
It aligns together perfectly.
That's awesome.
That was how that project came together. And then when I was working with Trinidad James, a photographer that knows a mutual friend emailed me and said, hey, I was you were recommended, and I'm coming to LA to do a shoot, and I'm shooting Trinidad James and this person, and would you like to jump on this project? And immediately I was like, yeah, I wanted to do it, especially because I know Trinidad James, he's fun. There's nothing that you could bring to him. He's like, oh, I'm not wearing that. He's an eclectic man, so he has very fun, funky style. He's open. So it was great to just work with him, because it's a collaborative effort. He has style, so obviously he knows what looks good on him, but he also takes into what I bring to the table, and we'll collaborate. Okay, I like this top with this bottom or this jewels and things like that, and then it unfolds as us collaborating on the project together. But he allows me to have that final, okay, this is the look that we're gonna go for.
So I guess one thing I'm noticing about you is you like collaborating a lot, and that's cool. That's dope. It's crazy how you stand inside, but you like collaborating. So you gotta adjust position. What's your zodiac sign again?
I am a Taurus.
That makes a lot of sense. Then your cow head ass. It'll be a woo head.
I'm not. First of all,
or the gold.
No, we not a cow or a gold player. We are bulls. Okay. I'm a bull.
Okay.
I'm a bull.
I thought it was a goat.
Look, I'm about to get you right now. I'm a bull.
All right, I thought it was a goat.
Bull-headed and bull.
All right, for sure. Walk around.
Shh, you don't even want to know.
Hey, it's okay. We need a game.
It was an adventure.
First of all, we saw a sloth. Second of all, she confronted Toucan Sam, and he left when she confronted him.
Oh, wow. Well, hey, and Tasheema seen the cat, so I don't know what's going on.
I seen a cat. Caroline seen a cat too. Caroline, you definitely.
I did yoga with
Caroline.
Everybody
She did see a
I
cat.
saw a cat, but not
Was it
your
the same
cat.
cat?
It was a
Not
different
the same
one.
cat.
See, I don't know what's going on.
There's a bunch of
Not
cats
seen
rolling
that.
Hey,
around.
it sound like everybody gotta chill. We about to end this episode soon. Because everybody gotta chill like
Everybody gotta chill.
What else? So yeah, you work with Trini,
Mhm.
and you was in LA. You've been working. Yeah, we talked about you working independent. How's that been? Like, how do you? Is it still doing like the relations that you already previously built, or are you just like just thriving?
Yeah, it's through relationships that I already have with people, connections I already have, whether it's designers, showrooms, other stylists, other creatives, and just mashing that together. I believe that every project that I work on, I always put my best self forward. There hasn't been any crazy sets that I worked on where I feel like I didn't get along with the crew, so I definitely think I carry that along.
Mhm.
And a lot of times it's also recommendations. Like I get a lot of recommendations of people who know me personally, or they just, through someone else that they've worked with and they reach out to me. So I think it's always great to bring your best self to a project.
All right, now let's start. If anybody want to reach you or find you, how can they find you?
So on all social media platforms, it's Tasheema Felder.
Oh, yeah. What's your social?
What's my social security number?
Hey, we need to find you.
You're gonna have to kill me to find it.
Alright, well, you go. Just kidding. No social.
Or they'll have to hire you.
Huh?
Oh, yeah, or they gotta hire you.
Retainer.
Or they gotta hire you, gotta book you.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, well, you heard her. Straight like that. Nah, so Tasheema Felder on everything.
Tasheema Felder on everything.
Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, MySpace.
MySpace. Remember MySpace?
Yo, MySpace was the joint, yo.
Who was in your number one spot on MySpace?
My
bro?
number one spot on MySpace right now is currently my condom company, Rick Condoms.
Oh,
And then right after that,
you did have a condom in high school, right?
Yeah,
Yo, my
yeah.
man been out here hustling.
hey, your boy got no kids. I'm still thriving. You feel me?
Protection. We out here
Protection.
drinking water and wearing protection.
Hey, protection.
Shout out to Jack
all
Harlow.
that. All that. What's popping? Brandon Williams popping. But yeah, it was River Collins, and it was actually my friend, rest in peace to Keenan, Respect Fresh. That's how I was like, whoa, that's crazy. He's still on my top. He's on my MySpace right now.
Yeah.
And I'm lying, I'm pussy. Look it up right now.
That's like if
MySpace.com.
you wasn't in somebody's top 10, they wasn't really fucking with you. If you wasn't in the top 10,
ROD_23 to my MySpace right now.
I don't even think MySpace. I don't even think it's up no more.
Nah, that shit's still there.
It is?
Justin Timberlake on MySpace now.
No, you lying.
Look, Google it.
I'm about to pull up. See.
I don't got Wi-Fi right now. My phone,
I'm about to see.
my phone recording this shit.
All right, let me see if I
That's my
go
chat, Justin
if I go on
Timberlake
MySpace
support
right
my-
now, if I can pull it up.
If you own it, you buy lunch.
All right.
Yeah, women buy men lunch. That's what's going on right now. We make wagers.
Look, if you treat
I'm
me
lying,
right, I'll
I'm
treat
lying,
you better.
I'm lying. We gonna see. I just want to report Justin Timberlake on MySpace. This nigga Justin Timberlake on MySpace.
Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, he bought MySpace.
Let me see what MySpace looks like right now. Vic Ruger remembers. Okay.
See, look at
MySpace looks like it's like a blog now.
Hey man, you gotta log in. You gotta, get your account. You gotta see on your top 8.
So now a part of the People Entertainment Weekly Network.
Hey, the Michael space, baby. Somebody's still going on MySpace.
Watch videos. Well, I guess MySpace is still up and booming then, but not as a. It's looking like it's a music social platform now.
You think about it, it wouldn't be no Soulja Boy without MySpace. They kind of just taking the Soulja Boy method and
Soulja Boy, tell
You.
Now we ain't lying on Soulja Boy Network or Soulja Boy Internet.
Hey, everybody gotta chill.
Everybody got you.
Everybody gotta chill. But yeah, Tasheema, I want to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule in Costa Rica from getting tan, getting mud.
Thank
doing
you
all
for
the other
having
different
me.
shit.
Shout out to you, Rod.
Thank you for coming. Wait, what?
What?
I don't know what's going on right now. I don't know how you look. I ain't wearing my glasses. We got producers in the back. They trying to make us look short. Motherfucking. You said they can find you everywhere. Tasheema Felder.
Yeah.
You can find me everywhere on social media networks. FUCKGOING OUT on all social networks. You don't know what the fuck that is. How I said that shit. You need to get hooked on finance. But it's fuck going on everything. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, look up face. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube FGO Network. Follow us, subscribe. We got new merch dropping soon. Motherfucking Slide. You can follow me on all social networks. ROBZILLA on everything. Yeah, man, we about to get back to living our best life.
Yeah, it's time to get some grub.
I'm hungry. Let's walk to this restaurant.
Alright, but let's do it.
Yes, FGO, baby. Thanks. Holla back. We're at 8.7 yeet.